Well, I've been at this gun thing for a few days, trying to work out how I would handle, or at least form an opinion on gun control. And I have to say it's tough, which is good. I like that. A bit frustrating. It's been interesting to brush up on laws in various countries. What I did was I tried to balance the legal ownership, how many people actually have a gun in the country, compared to how many people suffer from the presence of guns in the country, and it's been a mixed bag. Then I started looking at murder rates around the world. That was a very interesting video. Then for some reason that took me to this pleasant looking American couple actually touring around Colombia. The reason for that being Colombia was at the top with I think about it must have been 70 people per 100,000 people being murdered a year, and then it dropped to 5th place. And I was just thinking there before, you know something, you know there's a rabbit off if you're happy about dropping to 5th place on the murder chart. El Salvador had it for a few years as well, so well done there. Couldn't help but notice that America wasn't in the top 10 a great deal, if at all, and certainly not in recent years. And that was telling because, of course, we all know that there is more legal gun ownership in America than any other country on the planet. I was interested to see that I think it's Switzerland, they have a 20 or 30 odd percentage of the population that owns guns and an incredibly low crime rate. And I think they have access to semi-automatic weapons as well. I'll have to check that for the next video, but this is just an update. Like I said, I'm scared to make a final opinion, and because of course this isn't solely about gun control, it's also like about personal development as well. And I did realise that I was looking for ways I could look like I was making an opinion and not make an opinion. And then I realised maybe it's just best to come out and just say, I might not get to the bottom of this, and I don't know about be okay with that, but certainly accept it that it's there and maybe just look at it. It's also very interesting to watch how people handle the problem or the issue in the way they portray themselves when they discuss it. I've watched several videos. Just out of if you like watching buff yank dudes do ridiculous things, you can do worse than Demolition Ranch. That bloke's hilarious. Like, it's on a Sunday afternoon, somebody will just give him an armoured car and he'll just have fucking, I don't know, it looks like it got off a Japanese robot, this fucking gun, and shoots it at the car. I want to say this will go through the window, boom. It's hilarious and terrifying at the same time, but in a good way. Where was I? Yes, but I was watching all these videos, and then there was a fellow in America who my only contact with him is through watching 2 or 3 of his videos. He's obviously likes his guns because he's got a rack behind him and his backdrop that would put a military armory to shame. He's got every kind of gun under the sun and back there, so he's obviously a keen gun owner. He seems to be a fairly balanced individual, but very taken up with it should be legal to have firearms. I don't know how far he stretches into firearm control and what he thinks is relevant, but he made 2 videos, and I noticed that the title of the video is "How bad are the gun laws in X country or Y country. The two countries I watched were Germany and obviously the United Kingdom. I just thought, oh yeah, yeah. And so I immediately thought, well, that was a poor choice of words. Why did he instantly throw his cards down like that? It could have been how restrictive are the gun laws in these countries, how strict are the gun laws in this country, how lax are they? There's many different words you could have said than bad, and that just immediately tells you where he's batting from. And, you know, obviously the bloke can do what he wants with his videos, and I know he has his point of view. I think he could have been a bit more neutral in presentation, at least. But then I watched another one by the BBC, and it was this young laddie, obviously BBC reporter, and he was looking at the UK gun laws, but he didn't say, like, you know, anything. He was a bit more neutral until the first shot, and it was a bit more subliminal, because they had the slow motion, the mournful music. It was like off a Ridley Scott film, you know, and they had him looking down the barrel of the shotgun, and it was basically, he went into a gun shop with somebody who owns guns. He has a YouTube channel. I'll be looking him up in a bit, actually, and he obviously just says, "Do you want to look at a gun?" He's like, "Yeah, sure," and he's done that, and then went back to the office, and some buggers like put Ridley Scott music on that, and slow it down, and make sure you get his face in so it looks like a miserable twat that's gonna go out and shoot somebody. And I'm like, well, that's a little sly for me. It was obvious, I think, that he didn't come straight out and say it, but he was quite happy with the current gun laws in the UK, and that's great. But he was also quite happy to make them more restrictive, and I didn't actually know that there was people in the government who were planning to restrict the gun laws in the UK even further. So I got that from there, which caused me to look at a few crime statistics, and I believe in, excuse me if I'm referring to notes, you know what, it would be the only one I didn't bloody write down, would it? But it was how many firearms, it was in 2016 to 2017, the video I looked at, and there was approximately 1,600, more than 1,600, that was, yeah, firearm infractions in the UK. Now, the first thing I thought is that figure was very broad, because it's obviously very illegal for a lot of people to have a firearms in the UK. So I think you could chop a good chunk of that number down purely by being just caught with one in the house. So, and they didn't see it on the video, and it was a UK video as well. And that annoyed me slightly, because I think there was a link to another video that I didn't go down yet. But it annoyed me that he didn't see it, and this is, you know, just being caught with them, because it does sort of tend to suggest that you know, there was like 1,600 shootings, or 1,600, or, you know, 600 robberies and 1,000 shootings, and I was irked slightly by that, because you should have all your ducks in a row if you're going to make these things. But then your videos end up being an hour long, and some of us only have 15 minutes. So I had a look at that. I had a look at other stuff, the robbery rates in the UK, violent crime. Yeah, there's like in 2016 to 2017 there was over 1 million violent crimes committed in the UK, and I know I did notice, just on a side note, that appalled somebody, and I just said, but I said that'll include a lot of common assault where one lad gets punched and he goes home and he feels, you know, it'll involve every barroom scuffle that was ever reported. It'll involve every girlfriend who lost her rag and slapped her boyfriend or something, and he was daft enough to tell the police. It'll involve a lot of non-entities. So that again, I felt that number was fluffed a bit, and I don't like it when people fluff numbers, because statistics is the way forward. I'm a big Thomas Sowell fan, even if I can't pronounce his name, and he always has good statistics in his books. Or I assume he does, because he says you have good statistics in your books, and he puts a lot of statistics in his books, and he always comments on the statistics other people use, and it's very interesting. So, other than having a lot of knowledge that has no real bearing on my life, I am not really further forward. I have to say it right now, though, I'm not doing this to look at the UK gun laws or the American gun laws or any gun laws. It's just, it would just be like a theoretical place, and theoretically, would the inclusion of guns in that place be a pro or a con or a non-entity? I was thinking a lot about it in terms of like when I look at Sweden and Switzerland and places like that where it's quite easy. Like, it's not quite easy to get a gun, but a lot of people have guns, and there's a high percentage of gun ownership with low gun crime. Why is a place like that, whereas a place like America, who obviously has a high gun ownership, I've been remiss. I haven't actually looked up the number of shootings in America. Obviously, they have something of a black reputation for mass shootings, and that is certainly a good argument against semi-automatic weapons. One of the laws in the UK I'm aware of is, even if you have a gun that could be semi-automatic, it's got to be treated so it can only fire like don't know the exact term, like a bolt action. So you have to load every bullet, which is okay for recreational shooting. But like I said, even though America's number one in gun ownership, it never got into the top 10% of murders in the world per 100,000 people. And then it occurred to me to wonder, well, what about Colombia? How many people in Colombia own guns? And they were a long way down the list. It was somewhere near 100 in the 100 mark, like it was like 97, something like that. I'll make sure for the next video, but it was certainly nowhere near the top of gun ownership in the world. I honestly can't remember if that was a legal or illegal gun ownership, and I do know a few countries who, a few third world countries might struggle to keep accurate records on that. But so far, no end in sight. I will try and wrap this up in the next video, but it's been illuminating, and we've got 30 seconds left. So I can either dance the jig for you, or I can just leave.